I did not picture myself as becoming the CEO, becoming the richest, having the biggest car. But I did picture myself as being really good at my work. I say that we are fierce learners. You keep learning. The formula that I have is simple. If my morning starts with that meditation and the physical workout together, after that you can throw whatever you want at me. You can throw a thermonuclear bomb, nothing is going to happen.
So a lot of people want to get into the world of marketing and branding without really understanding that world. That's why I thought that we'll do this interview today. I'm actually with one of my business idols and mentors, Mr. Kiran Khalap. So thank you so much for being on BeerBiceps. There's a lot of value to be gained from Kiran, sir. So I call this interview from monk to millionaire because that's where Sir started out. He started out from a spiritual beginning and went and conquered the world of business and entrepreneurship. So he taught in J Krishnamurti school in Banaras right after college?
Yes. The day I finished my practical exams, I was on a train to Banaras.
And immediately after that, you transitioned into the world of advertising and branding?
Correct.
And became an advertising mogul. Today you're the co-founder of Chlorophyll, which is one of India's biggest branding firms. Okay, so can we rewind to your past a little bit? Like when you were a college graduate, what made you go and take up that teaching career suddenly? That's not how most Indian college grads think.
Yeah. So I had this drive, I think even when I was 17, I had this drive about what is truth, what is reality, where is God, what is God, all of that. So I ended up reading every book of philosophy on earth. Immanuel Kant and Sartre and Heidegger and Upanishads, and I understood nothing. Until I read J Krishnamurti. He was known as the 20th century Buddha. So there was one single book which I read and it was like a one bulb going off inside, everything clear, my life changed, it became phenomenally disciplined. So that changed my life, and I told my father that, I have to show my gratitude to this guy by helping him. I didn't even know he was. Krishnamurti's thing was that instead of living like a monk when you have grown old, if I can influence youngsters to watch what is happening inside their head and their heart, if I can influence youngsters to have a deep relationship with nature so that they don't exploit it, if I can have an understanding, create empathy amongst themselves at a young age, then there is a greater likelihood that when they grow up, they will live like that. That was his starting point, and therefore he said, if I have to change society, I must start with schools, which do this, which I liked hugely. It made sense. So the day I finished my practical exams, I sat in a train, went off. My father asked me, what are you going to teach? I said, I don't know. How much are they going to pay you? I don't know. Where will you stay? I don't know. Where is it? I don't know. I've just been told that you get off at Mughal Sarai and from there take a rickshaw for $2, you'll reach this school. So the principal asked me, but where is have you passed your BSc? I said, no, I don't know yet. The results are yet to come. Will you pass? I said, yes. So he said, you stay here for a couple of weeks. We'll feed you and give you shelter. If you like it, you stay. So I stayed for 4 years.
Wow. This is like a modern day monk story in a way.
Yes.
So what did that phase give you for your business life that you'd come back today?
Yes, I think it sounds surprising, but a total lack of ambition.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. So there was never this striving that I must be the biggest. We always wanted to be very, very good at what we did. We should not mistake lack of ambition for lack of purpose. Okay, so my lack of ambition, I mean, I did not picture myself as becoming the CEO, becoming the richest, having the biggest car. But I did picture myself as being really good at my work. Yeah.
You pictured yourself as adding value.
Yes, I have to. Therefore, even when we started Chlorophyll, he said, look, there are so many experts in this field, but it is not working at X, Y, Z levels. So we invented our own model.
Wow. God.
Right? We invented our own process. Not only that, that process and that model have changed over time. I say that we are fierce learners. You keep learning. So how do I adapt that learning to the way I define brands? Right? The way I help the brand owner to expand his business. Because even though brands is about intangibles, things which you can't touch, it's all about emotions and things like that, its final result must be tangible value. It must translate into wealth and value for somebody.
So what were your biggest mistakes with Chlorophyll?
Several. I think we did not strive too hard, and that might be the negative side of this lack of ambition. We didn't strive too hard for a certain growth rate.
Okay.
You have to have that. Right? Which we are doing now. Now we are totally committed to it, saying we need to have a particular growth rate. So the best quote on this is by this lady called Anu Aga. So she said, growth and profitability are to business what breathing is to living. They are indispensable. But the purpose of living is not breathing. In the same way, the purpose of business is not growth and profitability.
So they say that in 10, 20 years from now, the jobs that are going to exist will be greatly different from the jobs that exist today.
100%.
So as like a veteran of the marketing industry, for kids, who say that, oh, I want to enter marketing, I want a career in marketing, what do you suggest? Like, what skill set should they acquire right now?
It can't be a specialist skill set.
You can't be a specialist of one thing.
Yes. So whenever anybody asks me, what should I tell my child is confused. I said, let them be confused. Let them pursue whatever they require, but the future jobs will be for people who have multiple viewpoints of the world.
So specifically from marketing and branding in India, what do you think are the skills required for a guy who wants to stay in India and wants to build a beautiful career in marketing?
Understanding of human beings.
Okay. You think that's what marketing is at its core?
At its core. So how is the human being behaving? Luxury homes. What does luxury homes mean in the US? It will mean a backyard where you can make your barbecue and something. What does it mean here? It will mean what we call a star architect. So and so made my home.
Wow, crazy.
You have to understand this.
The difference in psychologies of
Absolutely. And therefore, the driving force is empathy. Can I stand in your shoes and understand why you're behaving the way you're behaving? Then only I can make sure that my brand connects with you. Right?
So, but how does a kid create better empathy within himself? Like, how does he work on his empathy? How do you improve that skill of understanding another human being?
I think if the starting point would be to first accept whether you have empathy or not. Are you listening to people? Go out and listen.
Okay. And
actually go out. I mean, the world's greatest brands do exactly that. If you look at Nike does not do any formal research, but all the time their people are out on the streets talking to the kids in the ghettos, the athletes, the women who want to run. This is such a simple understanding of who is looking for what, right?
So, coming back to this concept of empathy, I know that you're a big meditator. So, you're someone who practices vipassana a lot. And there's a lot of people who are intrigued by the concept of vipassana. How would you explain vipassana?
So the concept is very simple. The only action of the human body, which is governed by the conscious and unconscious method of the body living, is breathing.
Like it's both voluntary and involuntary.
Exactly. Those are the right words. So you can't force yourself to digest faster, but you can force yourself to breathe faster. At the same time, when you are fast asleep and a mosquito comes and bites you, you slap it and your breathing rate will increase. Unconsciously, involuntarily. If breathing is like this, therefore, any emotion will cause a change in breathing. Therefore, what you do is sit and watch your breathing.
So what exactly happens in a vipassana session?
any session is divided 1/3 and 2/3. 1/3 is watching your breath, 2/3 is watching your entire body.
Okay.
Your mind travels to the entire body. But you have to do that 1/3. So if you do Vipassana for 10 days, then 3 days is watching your breath, and the remaining 7 days is watching your body and your breath. Pashya means to see in Sanskrit. So seeing clearly means Vipassana. What you are seeing is, as you go deeper and deeper, and actually let's not say deeper, but as you observe more and more and more, you realize that the sense of pain, the sense of pleasure, the sense of joy, all these senses that arise because of your body interacting with the environment are all temporary. So as you grow deeper and deeper into Vipassana, you realize that everything that happens to you is actually temporary. It comes and goes. That is the nature of reality.
So it basically gives you more clarity.
Phenomenal clarity.
What is your motive with doing Vipassana?
The formula that I have is simple. If my morning starts with that meditation and the physical workout together, that takes me about 1.5 to 2 hours. After that, you can throw whatever you want at me. You can throw a thermonuclear bomb, nothing is going to happen.
Would you say your two biggest weapons in life are you working out and your meditation
Yes.
for your career?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has changed everything after that. It has evidently given results, right? So my sense of ups and downs, going into depression or not depression, and just becoming overly joyous, that whole thing has minimized.
So you've become more monk-like, more zen.
Yes, if at all. What actually it will lead to is the miracle in day-to-day life. Your relationships will change dramatically. Because you're not hungry for something to get from somebody, right? Your relationship with yourself changes, your relationship with your organization changes. So when we have our weekly meetings now, we have forced everybody to have a 10-minute Vipassana session.
Wow, crazy. So one last question that I want to ask you, which is, if you were to give one piece of advice to an 18-year-old, what would it be?
Again, it sounds like a cliche, but you must follow what you like doing. It might take a little bit of time
To figure out.
but be patient, be kind to yourself. It doesn't have to come in a day or two. Once it comes, then become the only one who does that. Imagine living a life where you're doing something completely against your own will. Not only are you spoiling your life, you're spoiling the life of everybody around you, because you have become a crotchety, irritated, unmotivated person, as opposed to somebody who's just bubbling, you're saying, yes, come on, come with me, this is the pilgrimage we want to have, you know.
Beautiful. So basically, your advice is to look forward to each day of the rest of your life, which will happen through choosing the work that you enjoy.
Yes.
So Kiran, sir, thank you so much for this interview.
As I said, every single question you ask helps clarify my mind.
Okay, I'm glad. That means a lot. Anyway, sir, thank you. I'm going to link sir's handles in the description box. I'm also going to link the Chlorophyll website for those of you who want to go and check it out. Thank you for being on BeerBiceps.
Thank
It was
you.
genuinely an honor.
Fantastic. Thanks.